How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffled Rallets, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, guys, we have some more rumor information to talk about. Before we get started, guys, keep in mind, all information stated in this video could be proven false in the future, so keep in mind, none of this should be taken, at face value as true. Always take everything with a grain of salt. Please keep that in mind as you're watching the video, guys. I have some information today coming directly from the Japanese Riddler, and actually not directly, but through a person who knows the Japanese Riddler, an individual that has had contact with the Japanese Riddler for the longest time. So, let's get started. Now, first, to explain who this individual is and why this information is somewhat important to kind of mention. Well, to begin with, the Japanese Riddler connects back to this image. Now, for those who do not know this image and its background, I'll explain it in a short manner. Now, this is an image of Rebootmon. This was posted by Jinx Club, also known as Pokesirena, and she posted this saying, 10 hours ago, the Japanese Riddler sent us a picture of Rebootmon from Appmon. Now, this is essentially just a freaking thing from Digimon, I guess. It's a thing called Rebootmon. Now, why is this important? Well, this image connects back to a actual, post made by the Chinese Riddler, which said that the Pokemon Switch game is going to be a reboot. Now, do you see the correlation? This image right here by the Japanese Riddler is called Rebootmon. Rebootmon. This image doesn't show a Pokemon. This isn't a Pokemon. Keep that in mind, guys. I gotta give a disclaimer. This is simply from Digimon. This image is from Digimon. But this is supposed to be like a hint, a way to tell us that yes, it's a reboot, but he doesn't want to say that's a reboot, but rather he just gives us an image of a freaking thing from Digimon. That's called Rebootmon. So keep that in mind as you're listening to what I'm saying right now. Now, you may ask two questions. Okay, who's the Japanese Riddler and why should I believe him? And also, who's the Chinese Riddler and why should I believe him either? Now, let's begin with who the Chinese Riddler is, because he was the first one to say it's going to be a reboot. Now, the Chinese Riddler is the same individual that confirmed and leaked Sun and Moon, and they were happening. He was proven to be right. He also leaked the final evolutions, as far as I remember, the final evolutions of the Alolan starters, and it turned out that he was correct, and he was actually right. He leaked the images and that sort of stuff, and he also, all that stuff got translated later on by Pokesirena. Now, this person, the Japanese Riddler here, he actually doesn't have any track record so far of being correct, but he did post this shortly after the Chinese Riddler, and what ended up happening was the Chinese Riddler removed his post shortly after posting it. It was actually removed by him for whatever reason. So keep in mind, a lot of weird, sketchy things going on. Now, we go back to the Japanese Riddler. Again, he posted the same thing, mentioning a reboot or not really saying anything, but simply just showing this image. Again, relating back to the Chinese Riddler guy. So, there is a correlation here. Now, I don't know if they are working together, if they've had any connection, but I will tell you this all just fits well together. Now, keep in mind, as I mentioned before, take all of this with a grain of salt. This could all just be BS and it could mean nothing, but just keep that in mind. Either way, now, we have now received two more images specifically from the Chinese Riddler, and one of these, the Japanese Riddler, and one of these is the image right here on screen. Now, if you're looking at this, you may wonder, what am I looking at? Well, it's simply palm trees. Now, how do these palm trees relate to anything? Well, that's explained in this Wikipedia page that came alongside this actual tree, and we'll get to it right now. Before we get into these trees, I want to explain why these trees are important, because they're simply palm trees. Well, if you guys don't know about this, there's been this Italian rumor going around, and again, keep in mind it's a rumor, Italian rumor about essentially a region kind of set in an area like the Southeast Asian parts of the world, that kind of place. It's been kind of, that's kind of what's been rumored to be, and apparently it's on some sort of peninsula, maybe like a island-ish peninsula type place with jungles and stuff, and again, it's not confirmed. We don't know anything about it. It's still yet to be debunked and proven wrong or proven false or, fake, but it's not been proven confirmed either, so we don't know what the Italian rumor even means. It could be total bogus, but could also maybe be real. Keep in mind, we don't know. But we got this image right here, and I decided to read through this Borassus tree, or palm tree, or what it's all about. So, Borassus palmyra palm is a genus of 5 species of fan palms native to tropical regions of Africa, Asia, and New Guinea. Now, when I read that, I was like, okay, this may not mean anything, you know what I mean? Because this relates to several places like Africa, Asia, New Guinea. Like, it's hard to even use that information to anything. You know what I mean? It's not that important. But I kept reading, and I noticed something interesting here, and that is cultivation and uses. And that's where it gets very interesting, and that is palmyra palms are economically useful and widely cultivated, especially in Southeast Asia. So I was like, oh boy, okay, this is interesting now. Let's look up what Southeast Asia contains. And that's these countries: Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, Taiwan, and Thailand. So you have a lot of countries to work with here, but one of those countries that's been mentioned in the Italian rumor is Sri Lanka. That's a country that has been mentioned several times by people that simply just recognize things from the rumors that connect to Sri Lanka. For example, the rumor about some sort of food being there that actually is from Sri Lanka. Some sort of like, the way the place looks like, the fact that it's a peninsula and that sort of stuff. It relates very well, and that it's a jungle as well. Sri Lanka has a jungle, a giant jungle. So we're working with a lot of weird information here. But again, the Japanese Riddler is connecting this stuff back to the Italian Riddler, the Italian leaker, who again, we don't know if he's right or wrong. The Italian leaker / rumor dude can be fake. Keep that in mind. I gotta keep mentioning this because I have people who literally assume everything to be real or everything to be fake just from an instant, moment. Just, have a bit of a, speculative mind. Think about these things in depth and, always have, just be on guard so you know that, this stuff could all be bogus. Keep that in mind. But either way, so this was the first image right here. Now we have a second image that we shall talk about, and that is this one. Now, what's this image actually showing us? Well, it's simply Ethan, and he's encountering a shiny Charizard. Now, what does this relate to? Well, I talked to an individual who gave me this, or the individual rather who gave me this image, and we talked about it, and I was essentially told that this image is going to be connected to, or we're going to be essentially getting a sort of similar version to shinies, or something similar to how shinies work, but it's going to be very important for the way the gameplay works. So I'm not sure what that exactly means, but that connects to previous things we've heard from other rumors. Really, really random rumors we've heard from people saying there's going to be a new battle mechanic, and this battle mechanic is going to be very important. Somebody also mentioned, and I can't remember exactly, don't quote me on this, but somebody did also mention that there is going to be something similar to shinies. Think like Crystal Onyx, right? Think something like that, but it's going to be very important to the gameplay. Important to the battle mechanic, important to the gameplay, and how all that stuff works. So keep in mind, all this stuff, as of right now, very speculative. We don't know. But this image right here is very important in my opinion because it connects back to a lot of different things. And if the Japanese Riddler is correct, then we're working with something here that could be real. But then again, we don't know, so keep that in mind. So in general, that's all the info we have gotten so far. Now, I want to know your opinions on this, guys, because I feel like there's a lot of potential to do something like shiny Pokemon, but in a different manner, because it will be easier for the Pokemon Company to make a sort of gimmick, similar to like how we have Mega Evolutions and how we had Z-moves, but imagine it just like with Pokemon, where maybe they just change aesthetically looking-wise, you know what I mean? Maybe like, they're still the same typing, they're still the same movesets and stuff, but maybe they just change color in a certain way, or maybe change some body shapes, or, size and whatnot. All that stuff could work in a way, and I think that could work as kind of a gimmicky type of thing to do. I think it could be potentially something interesting to see, but these, again, are just things we've gotten from the Japanese Riddler. We don't know if it's confirmed real or fake as of right now. We'll know in the future when we get an actual announcement. Now, I want to make 2 more points in this video, guys. Some information I want to give from me to you, and that is about the so-called Pokemon new Direct coming out tomorrow, which I think is bogus. I think it's fake. The individual who shared that information, who tweeted it out, doesn't seem to have a track record of being correct about stuff in the past, so I wouldn't trust that, guys. He also did say take it with a bit of, grain of salt. So I don't think we're going to be getting a new Pokemon Direct tomorrow. Don't believe that. And also, we had some information, apparently, that we're going to be getting essentially some more merch information coming at the end of this week at Friday. So we will be seeing some merch-related stuff soon. Maybe even a confirmation for Zeraora being in the Pokemon Movie 21, which would be fan-freaking-tastic. That would be so awesome if we got a confirmation for Zeraora, because that would mean the final, kind of the end of Gen 7, and we're moving over to the next thing. So keep that in mind, guys. But either way, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this specific video, guys. I want to know your opinions on all this stuff. What do you think about the Japanese Riddler? Do you think he's actually for real? Do you think he's just being bogus? Do you think, what do you think about all that stuff? That's honestly what I'm really curious about. What's your opinions on all this stuff, guys? Because I don't know as of right now. I'm very curious to see what these images could specifically link back to, and if they end up being real, because again, it's just 2 images, and the first one relates to the Italian stuff, but this one relates to other rumors, so they mix up in a really weird way, like it's 2 things from 2 different separate rumors. it's very odd. It's very strange in a way as well. So we have those things, and also we have the fact that we do have this thing from the Japanese Riddler about a reboot that also came from the Chinese Riddler, who also said it was going to be a reboot, but the Chinese Riddler removed this stuff. So in conclusion, I want to know your opinions, guys. Let me know in the comments down below. If you think this is all bogus, let me know. If you think this is all real, let me know as well. If you're in between, let me know in the comments as well. Either way, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you all the next time. Have a great day. And bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.